Okay, what's going on, guys? This is Diogo Mendes is 7. He's a professional player. He used to play with Tex as well in Fnatic, and I believe now he's playing for a US team. But these are currently his pro 4-2-2 tactics. As you probably know, my 4-2-2 is one of my favorite tactics inside the game. As I said, it's probably one of the best tactics inside the game, the 4-2-2, that general formation. But he's got a similar tactic to mine, but the only difference is the left back and right back are both wing backs, as opposed to leaving them on defend or having one of them going forward, and has both the strikers on advance forward. So we're going to go over his tactics. I'm also going to go over some gameplay examples. I'm going to show you and tell you what I would change for you, the average player, and how this formation will play. These are the tactics itself. Don't forget, out in possession is basically a 2-4-2-2. Of course, the left back and right back was where you may be vulnerable in terms of defending, but we'll have a look at that in a second. And then, of course, when you're defending, I would say out of possession, you are defending in a typical 4-2-2, very, very similar. And this is the code if you want his exact tactics. And he's running balanced, interesting, no counter, and the defensive approach being high. Now let's go straight into a game. Let's see how these tactics play out. What would I change? What would I change? What would I recommend? All that. Let's go straight into the gameplay and then we'll come back to the tactics at the end. Do you want to get better at FC25 now? Before you skip ahead, what if I told you if you join my FC school and you didn't get better after 1 month, I'll refund your money? I can say this because I've been running my FC school for many, many years and thousands of students join and even stay on. We go over complete in-depth gameplay tutorials showing you both the theory of something and the gameplay examples using real-life examples in a structured format that's like a course. The videos on a systematic learning system teaching you everything from the core mechanics, the basics to the meta so you can get better as a whole with explanations that go beyond the scope of my YouTube channel. FC School has already started with every single tactical layout, focuses, meta cards, and learn the meta before it even becomes the meta. So come join thousands of others in a mature audience community for those looking to get better at FC25, patreon.com/nilguides, or click the link down below. Now, when you join, we already have a library of hundreds of videos, more than my YouTube channel, in fact, with new videos on FC25 getting constantly added so you'll never run out of content. The biggest mistake people do is they spend thousands of dollars on FP points every year thinking this will make them better, but it won't. But now it's time for you to make that change. Don't forget, if you don't get better after 1 month, just send me a message and I'll refund your money. That's the Nil Guides guarantee. Links down below in the description, patreon.com/Nil Guides. Okay, now let's go over the tactics. Again, we're not focusing on winning the game here per se. I'm going to still play normally, but we're just mainly looking at the tactics. Now, you can see straight away the wing backs are going up. Now, you have to be playing with these. What is AI doing there? Did you just see that? Why is AI running back there when I have the ball in my possession? Absolutely shocking anyway. That was honestly disgraceful. I don't know. Sometimes this role system is just unbelievable. The AI movement, sometimes what I see is shocking. I don't know why that player is running back. Anyway, that's not part to do with the tactics. That is a game issue. So you can see, for example, like here we do have the 4-2-2. Now, what's interesting, these players are wing backs. They're not going to be going forward all the time, gung-ho. But you can see when you have the ball and you're attacking, you do have their support. And do you know what? I actually like it because they're not so far ahead forward. And you can see, look on the radar on the defensive end, you can see we've got a player, the centre backs on stay back, and we've got the other left back being in an advanced position. So very, very interesting actually. A lot of, when you get the ball and you lose the ball from a counter attack, for example, like here, you're going to wait for the left back and right back to go backwards. That's going to be everything. What you can help influence that is technically if the player is quicker or they've got good sprint speed, they could technically run back quicker. And what also can help with it as well is the player roll. So if you've got someone who's got a roll plus, it would be even better in terms of their movement. But it's always good. I know it's very hard to get a player that's a roll plus when you are generally playing. But that's fine. We'll just look at the roll basic variation first. So you can see, look, here, that's the right back going forward. We're going to go for the L1 triangle. We're going to use the width here. And I like it because you can have the overlap. And let's say with advanced forward, you're giving space for someone like Sun to do a finesse shot. Very interesting that both players are on advanced forward. Be interesting how Diogo plays as well. So you're going to always be mindful from the defensive standpoint. Quick tactic from... I was going to play that through. Sancho over to get the ball. I'm going to go for a near post shot. Probably took a bit too long. Probably should have shot a bit earlier there. Okay, so we've got 2 CDMs. Interesting. With 2 CDMs, you have that stability, so you can actually go forward. I think, look, if you're going to be using 2 strikers, that are going to be finessing the ball, using advanced forwards is fine. Okay, so you can see, look, this is one issue that you'll find, is that you may be isolated. Do you see that? So big as the left back and right back. So when they go forward, see how they can move naturally. So you can see, okay, so they're in quite, so you know what? This is actually very, very interesting. I actually like how they play because they're not so far where they're engrossed into the attack, but they're always there to provide support. You know, for example, like here, I can cross the ball and I can do like a low driven. And had that been a first-time shot like I requested, it would have been nice. I know it was offside, but still. So it's very, very interesting the way that they're positioned. They're not positioned as traditional fullbacks, but maybe he wants to trigger those players. You can see like here, that's the fullback running forward. But you can see with the L1 triangle, they go into these areas where I can pass the ball to them. Now, what's interesting is both those cams are on playmakers as opposed to shadow strikers. So very, very interesting as well. I'm going to play a bit aggressive here. But I don't lose the ball due to BS. Going to wait for the finesse shot. That was a nice goal. I was expecting it, to be honest. Didn't move the goalkeeper in time. That was nice for my opponent. Of course, Salah, the finesse shot god. Him, Son, etc., etc. Okay, so again, you can see, so the only downside is, look, if you're up against, for example, wingers, you can see on my opponents, for example, got left mid and right mid. If your opponent is smart, they could, for example, put inside forward on their wingers attack, and they will basically stay forward. Or they could put a shadow strike or something like that on a 4-4-2 or winger that's attacking. And the general attack is basically a 4-4-2-2, very, very same. I actually very like the 4-2-2. One of my favorite formations for attacking. And let's say I went for the finesse shot here. Good save from Alisson. Wonder if my opponent moved the goalkeeper there. Now hopefully I've been testing my aim. Now hopefully I should be able to get this right. And I messed the timing up, but I scored the goal. You can learn how to do that on my Patreon series, patreon.com/NeilGuides. You don't give after 1 month refund your money, but we'll go over that. I think the power shot video has already come out on my Patreon, how to do the first time power shots as well, how to get the power shot accuracy and timing. But the video on how to do that specifically should be coming out very, very soon. It should have been a green time shot, but a bit clunky. Being playing COD, my hands are very much in pain from playing COD with skill-based matchmaking. If you know, you know. So very, very interesting. I like this because you've got the left back and right back supporting. So, you know, you have them, for example, like here I got Diogo. And, you know, they're not on no roll plus anything like that. But you can see you create that overload. You see that in terms of play. You see to create that chance. But you can see, look, on the defending end, look, they still run back. The benefit is, you know, them not being on, for example, an attacking fullback as you would otherwise known as, or attacking wing back, is that they're actually there to help the defense. And you can see when you have the ball, and if you want to, you can always do a quick 1-2 and get that player going naturally. And let's say, for example, you want to distribute the ball in a wider areas, you can do that as well. And of course, if you lose the ball, and you can see, look, Diogo, I don't has it, does it? I'm just double check at halftime. He doesn't have the wing back plus. He doesn't even have the wing back plus. Let me try something actually with Kerr here. How far? Okay. I was just double checking something to do with the curve because Kerr hasn't really got the best of curves. She's a good finesse shot taker. I actually had it on my main account, still do actually. But like compared to Son, when Son's at a further range, he can probably get away with the finesse. Should have gotten more power there. He can get away with the finesse shots a bit more as opposed to Kerr as well. What I can imagine Diogo uses as well for those fullbacks is those L1 triangles, especially those first time L1 triangles. You got someone like Patrick Guijarro in the team. It would be very, very interesting. In fact, at halftime, I'm going to show you what team that he actually runs, courtesy of Footwiz. Thank you very much, Footwiz, of course. Having this option here. Quick 1-2. And you can see, look, just waiting for the left back and right back to go forward. And then I can see I can wait for foot. See, I can drag a player. See, this is the way that you would want to use the formation. Kind of dragging a player away and seeing where it goes. Now, let's have a quick look at how he actually lays this team out. Very, very interesting. So this is how it's running. So interesting. So he's gone with Shellin. Of course, she has the finesse shot as well. Alexia Ginola. Patrick Guijarro, which I'm presuming he uses for the long balls. And he's got Hernandez and Gusto. Very, very interesting. So we got quite a similar team. Of course, we haven't got the Mbappes and Ginolas. But in terms of what the players do, we do that familiarity. Now, what we can do is, look, we can see we don't have wingback plus. Do we have anyone who can play that role? I believe he can't play a right back. He can't, no. Not a plus. Okay. Not the end of the world. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swap these players around. Quick switcheroo. I'm going to put Dembele in over here. And then we'll keep the team the same. So far, so good. I actually like the tactic. So look, this is the main thing you really want to focus on. You know, you probably see my 4-2-2 anyway. You probably used it. But you can see the difference with the wing backs. The only thing I would say is that attacking... Maybe if you play with attacking forwards a specific way, you're completely fine. I think that if you're maybe... Let's go to defend a situation over here. Bit aggressive. Like you can see, like if you got like attacking... Like maybe... Like I'm using, of course, a lot of L1 triggers. What the hell was that? I have no idea. The only thing I would probably fear is that for the average player, don't forget, of course, Diogo is a pro player, top of his game, one of the best players in the game, to be honest. He's a pro player, of course. It's a bit different, but what I do fear is, look, with the lack of L1 triggers with the strikers, unless you're specifically playing that role or you're trying to do something, I do find that lack of that movement. You see that movement there? Come on, Dembele, slide. Okay, thank you very much. That was meant to be a slide tackle. Oh, got a bit of Neymar spectacular there. But you see, for example, like here, when I get the ball away, like it's only like at this point here, like I want Son to make that run, so I got to trigger that run myself with the L1 button. So as long as I'm doing those L1 buttons, or you, the user's doing those L1 buttons yourself, you're completely fine. Now, those cams don't really defend, but that's the key thing with this formation, is that you have those CDMs. No deep line playmaker or anything with my CDMs, but you can see, look, my cams, they're in those advanced roles, and that is not what I wanted. That's probably going to be a goal. Salah's right foot, thank the Lord. But we'll give my opponent the win anyway. But like you can see, look, those wide cams, look, they're kind of central. You see that? In a build-up play. But then you have basically a 6-striker layout, because then you have the left back and right back overlapping, and then let's go a bit quick switcheroo. Let's try something, actually. I don't really do those kind of goals, but I wanted to try something there. But that's the thing. You attack in the front 6. So if you're patient with the ball... In fact, let me try something here, actually. One second. Let me try something. Going for the driven... Trying to go for the driven cross there. But you can see, look, defending, look, is the only thing you don't have to really worry about. When you've got 2 CDMs, look, unless you're running out, you're not going to have that much. But let's just say, for example, you're being a bit patient, and you can see when we don't have the ball forward, you can see the players, like, they don't really make it. Maybe a plus would be better here. But you can see, look, they provide the width. They don't always go forward. You see that? I'm not triggering that player to come close. This is their natural movement, you see? And you can see, have a look on the raid on the opposite side. You see the right back? It's actually coming back when I'm in those situations. So maybe because the player... Maybe we're going to switch actually to counter at half time. But you can see, look, when we're in the final third in this region, this is where you have the front 6. Can you see? Hope my opponent doesn't get pissed off with me doing this. But you can see the left back and the right back. They're creating that front 6. So I can, for example, go here and I can try to link up. So you know what? Trying to get inside the box and creating an angle for a finesse shot like that. That's where the formation could be very, very useful, because then you have a 6 versus 4 and you're forcing your opponent's left back and right back to make a decision. Very, very interesting. Whereas if you have, like in one of my formations, you only have a front 5. So yes, in my formation, you'll have more stability. Maybe from an attacking perspective, this could be very much be better. Again, I'm doing an L1 trigger there because Sam Kerr's not making that run. Again, I'm waiting for that player to make that run. Going with the L1 triangle with Patry. Going to go with the overlap here. So again, like just creating confusion here. But that is where the formation really does prosper, I would say, when you play a bit more slower. So don't rush forward with this. We're going to just do a quick change here. We're going to put this to counter. Now, the high depth, I'm of course I'm okay with it. The high depth, I'm not really got an issue with that. That's something just to bear in mind. When you are defending out of possession, you know, I still press manually. Maybe I'll try to show you some pressing examples as well. But John, actually, let me just try something as well. Actually, while I'm at it. Oh no, got a bit excited there, to be honest, with the R3 flicking. I was trying something there, but missed timing up. But like here, like now we have it on the left back and right back on counter. It's the same thing here, but I'm just wondering, for example, is this going to change the way the system plays? But you can see, look, at least Son is making those runs in behind and is deeper. So now, for example, if I want to do a skill move with Sam Kerr, do you see there? That Sam Kerr, if I want to do, even though she's on advance forward, on those build-up segments, those players are making those runs. So you see Sam Kerr, she's making that run herself, even as the advance forward. So very, very interesting, actually. It's going to fend here. Nice. And again, you got the 2 CDMs for protection. So look, unless you're a bad defender per se, you shouldn't really struggle. And you can see that's the left back there. We're going to rotate the ball here. Now, of course, if you're up against somewhat like this, only downside, like you got two players at the back. So, of course, if you lose the ball here, for example, like if I lose the ball like in a situation like here, let's say you're trying to build up play and you lose the ball, you can see the counter attack. The good thing is those fullbacks actually come back pretty quick because they're not so high up the pitch. So they're ready to come back and be reserved enough to come back, which is very interesting. The better player you have, like a roll plus there, the better that player would be at coming back, tracking back, and coming forward as well. And you can see, look, here, that's the right back. You can see, look, I actually really like this system, you know? I'm not going to lie, I actually very much like it. I think I still prefer my 4-2-2, but I can imagine for most people who struggle to attack, this could be very much a valid system, or even just putting one of the players, instead of doing an attacking wing back like I do, you could put one of the players on a wing back. Nice play as well from my opponent there. It's going to move the goalkeeper because I see Virgil van Dijk there. I'm just going to man mark Virgil van Dijk, move that player into the box. And then goalkeeper. Good goal. Didn't expect that, to be honest. Fair play. I was watching Virgil van Dijk and I was thinking the ball's going to go in. Didn't expect it back post. Fair play to my opponent. We're going to give my opponent the win in a second as well. Or maybe we'll let them do it organically. Let's see. Actually, no, we'll give them a win at the end because I want to keep playing. So I want to try a few things here. Interesting setup. So again, like there, that wing back you might need. This is where the wing back plus is really going to come into shape really here. Nice. Again, I can just move my left back. Let me give the win now. Even better, gets a natural win. That way my opponent won't feel hard done by and will feel happy about their next game and not frustrated because I gave them the win. Now, this is actually very, very interesting. There's a few things that... There's not that much I would change, but maybe there's a few things that maybe I would suggest for you, the average player. Just a few different changes. Let's go into now the tactics and I'll explain to you what I would change. Okay, so overall... I like Diogo's tactics. Where would this go on my FC role system? I'll show you in a second. Now, I actually really like these tactics. I think they are very good. Maybe just a few things that I might change myself is one, the strikers. At least I would recommend one of them on a poacher attack. Maybe because I have Sam Kerr and Son, because they're both roll plus, I will achieve that better movement and I do a lot of L1 triggers myself. You may not have the exact same player layout that I have, so I would probably recommend trying, at least when you try the formation, putting one of them on poacher attack and one of them on the advanced full attack. That way you got a bit of both worlds. Maybe there's someone like who's the finesser like the Son on the advanced forward, and maybe someone who's like a player getting in behind, like in the Dharma, for example, on the poacher attack. That way you have a bit of the movement. The cams I've not got an issue with, and neither have the CDMs. I use the exact same setup. The only thing I'd probably say is take off sweeper keeper, unless you're feeling very, very comfortable with the way the goalkeeper comes out. I would probably say stop the sweeper keeper because you do have two players at the back. You may lose the ball in a turn of possession, especially if you're not that advanced at defending. You could make a mistake and you could panic. So unless you use sweeper keeper, that's the only difference. But to be honest, the rest I wouldn't change. Maybe I would recommend putting counter on just so when you get the ball, helps the left back and right backs move forward, makes those players get it behind, especially those cams, makes them make those runs in behind and makes them available. So although they're a bit more central when you're attacking, they're not like wide lambs and rams like the olden days. They're a bit more central, hence being the playmaker cams. But the benefit is that you can help them make those runs in behind. So you basically have those 6 players effectively darting forward. I mean by that is, for example, you have this player, that player, and then you have the front 6. So to be honest, if you are a 4-2-2 player, I would actually very much advise, you know what, I think the defensive approach on high is actually very, very good. I'd actually very much recommend these. I think these are very, very good. If you want my proposed changes, that's what I would say. But there isn't really that much I would change. It's just really the counter, the goalkeeper, and maybe putting one of the players on advanced forward. The depth yourself, you can change. But what would I do and where would this fit into my review tactic, should I say? So let's have a quick look, right? So we're going to go here, going to go to my website, fcrolls.com. Now, we're going to scroll down. Now, let's have a look. So we've only reviewed 3 tactics so far. So we've got my 4-1-3-2, which technically it was like a kind of a pro player's tactics. I just saw some random template and I just adjusted it myself. Now, where would this go? Is it better than Team Hullet's 4-3-2-1? Yes. Is it better than the 4-1-3-2? I would say it's the same level. I would say either one is good. I think right now the 4-1-3-2 and the 4-2-2 are 2 of the best tactics. Over my 4-2-2, I think they're both good. They both have different use cases. My one I have, for example, you got one player going forward. Diogo's one, you have 2 left back and right backs going forward, but their wing backs unbalanced. So to be honest, I would say it would just go under my 4-1-3-2. I think in the whole tactical sphere, can't put 2 in the same row. I'll put it, you know what? Just for the sake of it, I'll put it above the 4-2-2. I'll put this 4-2-2 just above. But to be honest, I think they're both equally very, very good. But that's Diogo's tactics. And don't forget, if you want to subscribe to my content, see more videos like this, subscribe to my content. Don't forget to subscribe to Diogo. I'll leave his, I think it's Diogo Mendes 7 is his Twitter and his Twitch. I'll leave it down below as well. Don't forget, if you want to get better FC, come to my Patreon, patreon.com/nailguides, where you can learn things like my power shot and learn things like the basics, like how I did. And remember, if you don't get better after 1 month, we'll refund your money. So no guys guarantee. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace.